Boom. Booyah. We're recording. Now I'm going to share. Now I'm going to play. Y'all should be seeing the PowerPoint. All right, here we go. We always start every class, as long as I've been doing it, we've always started every class with your why, with your reasons, with your desire. I made a little post earlier today. It was from me. A lot of things that I post on Twitter or on the Facebook page, I guess I'm selfish in that way. I'll get a thought. It just seems like, I guess we're all a little bit like Donald Trump these days, huh? I get a little thought, and instead of writing it down in a notepad, I used to have a little y'all remember the spiral bound little square notepads you kept in your pocket, and I'd write my thoughts down in them? Because I get thoughts, and I don't want to forget them because I believe they come from the Lord. You get thoughts, and I believe they come from the Lord. But we let life get in the way, and we forget about our thoughts. So I've always kept a little journal of thoughts. Well, we just live in a different day and time now. And for me, it's Facebook and Twitter, I guess. And maybe it might help somebody for me to share my thoughts with them. But really, it's a record of my thoughts, thoughts for me. And I had said earlier today, thought came, it's came many times over the years, that pain or fear, if you will, has always caused me to take immediate action. And I think that most common or unsuccessful people are that way, in that they take action when there's painful reasons to take action. That makes sense? Or when there's fear, great fear. In other words, when I started, it's because the doctor told me I'd never become old enough to see my kids grow up because of all my health problems if I didn't change. That was fear. That was pain. My knees hurting so bad, carrying all that extra weight, the gout, the acid reflux. These things were painful. Someone that I cared deeply for telling me that I was a fat slob. Pain. And if you got any heart left, some people ain't got no heart left. Y'all know what I mean? They just ain't got no fight in them. I'm not mad at you if that's you. I just wish I could stir up your pure mind and get you up off your butt, because some people ain't got no fight left in them. I don't know what life has done to them to take all the fight out of them, but they ain't got no fight left. Ain't got no grit left. Well, I had fight and I had grit, but I was in a state of procrastination. And it took pain, it took fear of loss to get me up and get me moving, to want to change some things. And fear and pain will get you up now. So, in other words, if you've got fear about being not losing the weight, if you've got pain because you're overweight, if you got any fight in you, you got anything about you, then that's going to cause you to take action now. Not later, but now. Everybody that went, now. God help me. I'm looking at myself in the camera. I look like Morton Downey Jr. Y'all remember Morton Downey Jr.? I don't know who I look more like, Billy Bob Thornton or Morton Downey Jr. Y'all remember Morton Downey Jr.? Lynn Cunningham, Lord help me. Y'all remember the big teeth guy, Morton Downey? Never mind. Not Robert Downey, not Iron Man, Morton Downey. Lord help me. No wonder nobody likes me. All right, so anyway, if you got anything about you, fear and pain will get, but look, if you live without daily self-discipline long enough, you're going to wind up with pain and fear. And it's going to get you up now. Okay, but here's the problem for most of the people that I'm associated with that are good people, that's got grit. That be you. You've got grit. And when you have enough pain and enough fear, you do it now. Here's the thing about most of us who haven't yet learned to be successful. That has its limits. Fear and pain will only take you so far. I guarantee you, I can't see the chat right now, but I guarantee you that most of you say, yeah, when my back was against the wall, I performed. When my back was against the wall, I fought. When my marriage was having problems, I fought for my marriage. When I got my second write-up at work, I fought for my job. When I had a C and wanted an A in college, I fought for better grades. Whatever it is, some fear of loss causes you, when you get your back against the wall, to come out swinging. Y'all know what I'm saying? But that'll only take you so far. Take it from me. It'll only take you so far. And it's not really the best existence. It's a good stimuli to get you up and get you moving. However, pain and fear are more of a motivator than desire, except for very, very successful people. Their desire is what drives them. The Bible says that people without a vision will perish. Think of that in terms of desire. What do you see for your life and yourself? What do you want? Let that drive you. Get up and think about it morning, noon, and night, and in between. And see, then attach all of the many benefits that will permeate your life once you reach that you desire. And don't take your eyes off the prize. That will prevent you from procrastinating. At the end of the day, it all comes down to, who are you? Who are you? Not what your why is, but who are you? You're a child of God. What should a child of God be? What should a child of God look like? What should a child of God have? You're disciplined. Who are you? These are things that you should write down. I am disciplined. I am a child of God. I am forgiving. I forgive others. I forgive myself. I'm beautiful. I'm a very kind person. I'm full of love. These things should permeate your life and be who you are. If you'll define yourself this way, you'll find yourself behaving this way. A temperate person, a person of moderation, a person that loves God more than food. Come on, y'all. Get fired up. And what about this last word? How many of you, for goodness sakes, wants to find, I know some of you ain't got no problem with your confidence, but I did. You want to be a confident person. Believe in yourself. I am a confident person. I believe in myself. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. You can't be this type of person if you're not up about the Father's business and trying to lose this weight. It's time to lose it, y'all. Don't give me this stuff about I start January. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Don't do it. Tonight, you've defined who you are. We're talking about carbohydrate now. Let's do a quick review. There's some macronutrients, right? There's 4. Protein, carbs, fat, and water. Carbs are I don't care what other people tell you, carbs are the least essential macronutrient. The least essential, especially for overweight people. Now, it's debatable as to whether they're the least essential nutrient for people who are healthy and well and at a lean weight. I think still it's the most least essential nutrient. I think that water is the most important nutrient, macronutrient. Protein second, fat is third, and carbohydrate a distant fourth. But it's debatable if you're an athlete. But how many of us are professional or amateur athletes? I don't think many of us. I think most of us are just trying to look better, feel better, be better, increase our quality of life, our longevity. Something happened to the PowerPoint. There it comes. So, understanding that on this program, let me make sure y'all can still see me, hear me, that kind of thing. We had a little glitch there. Let me stop the share. Y'all still with me? Is everybody still good? Before I go on, we had a little hiccup there. Still good? Awesome. Got 50 people with us now. Praise God. All right, so I'm going to go back to the screen share. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Cannot get rid of this little bronchial thing. All right. So with carbohydrate on this program, it's all experiential and situational. Everyone here is going to, their metabolism is going to react to carbohydrate differently. They call it in popular circles the carb threshold. But this isn't Atkins, so I don't want to get into that. For most people, how their body reacts to carbohydrate is experiential. We're all a little different. In other words, I ate carbs, I blow up. And situational. The only time I won't blow up is when I have carbs right before an intense workout or right after intense workout. Then the glucose molecules get broke down, shuttled into my muscular cells, yada, yada, yada. We're not getting into that. But it's experiential. You're going to have, you can't, when it comes to your carb intake, you can't think you're like everybody else. And it's situational, and this is the more important part to me and for me to teach you. It's situational, very situational. What is the situation, and do I need the carbs? And which carbs do I need for this situation? For overweight people, by the way, 2/3 of our population fall in one of three categories: overweight, obese, or morbidly obese. And to that population, carbohydrates are our frenemy. They can be our friend or they can be our enemy. We want carbs to be our friend. Now, before we go further, I don't know that we'll get into this tonight because this is kind of a lengthy lesson. We need to stop. I was long-winded last week and got several emails about going over time and being long-winded. I'm bad about that, didn't I warn y'all? I just love this stuff. So tonight we'll try to stop in 1 hour. Okay, that's probably too long. Probably should keep lessons to 30 minutes. I'll work on it in 2017. But perfect pairings, carbs and perfect pairings. Perfect pairings, let's do a review. We categorize food and we combine them in such a way based on their macronutrient profile that we can slow the fat bust down and still lose body fat. A perfect pairing is where I take a food that's multi-nutrient and I compare it with another food that's a single or multi-nutrient, and it makes for a perfect pairing or a great combination. example, pinto beans have multiple nutrients in them. So it's easy to pair them with something with a single or multiple nutrients and make it a right meal, even though the categories may not line up properly in the right combination. For example, I can take an apple. And peanut butter, and that won't, now y'all, everybody hold up. I want to make sure everybody's listening to this. Please listen. I can take an apple, regular apple, an approved apple, and regular approved peanut butter and pair them up, and that's disaster. I don't care what Women's Health magazine tells you. That's taking a category 6 peanut butter with a lot of fat and a little bit of protein and combining it with a category 5 fruit that's fructose sugar. I combine those, not good. There's not enough protein, there's not enough fiber, and that pairing will not work. Now, I could take that apple and a high-protein peanut butter that's not a regular peanut butter like P28 peanut butter. P28 makes a high-protein peanut butter. If I pair that high-protein peanut butter with that apple, I've got a perfect pairing. It's still a 6 and a 5, but because I'm using a specific product with an increased amount of protein, it's going to work out. So when I say perfect pairing, that's what I'm talking about. It's where it looks like on paper it didn't work, but because of the nutritional profile of a specific product, it worked. We may not get into that tonight. All right, so let's talk about carbohydrates. There would be more ways to break these down than this, but I thought this was a good start. Carbs are really complex to talk about. Proteins are not so complex and fat's not so complex, but carbs are. There's so many different kinds. I could have even put fruit up here, but I didn't, because fruit's a carb. So you've got energy carbs, good carbs that allow you to increase your energy levels. Now, anytime we increase energy levels with carbohydrate, we're increasing the energy levels via sugar. The only difference between a processed carb and a complex carb is the time frame by which it converts to sugar. And the quicker it converts to sugar, now I'm trying to put it in our terms, layman's terms. The quicker it converts to sugar, the more fat bus you get. Review the fat bus. When the fat bus comes on the scene, appetite goes up, fat stores take place, and efficient fat burning stops for up to 2 days. So we don't want no fat bus when we're trying to lose weight. If I were trying to gain weight, and I don't just mean fat. If I was working out with heavy weights 1 to 2 times a day, I'm a professional or amateur athlete, I might want to cause an insulin secretion because it's a growth hormone and I want to grow. I want biceps. I want pectoral muscles. I want deltoids. See, you need insulin not just to gain fat mass, you need insulin to gain muscle mass. But what too many people try to do is to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. Can't do it. That's just a marketing scheme there, a marketing fallacy. Okay, you cannot gain muscle and burn fat at the same time efficiently. At the same time efficiently. So it all depends on the situation. It's all situational as to when I utilize carbs. Otherwise, I need to take them out of my vocabulary unless the situation calls for the carbs. It may be that the situation is that you're craving a potato. Well, that's great because we teach you how to eat a potato and still lose weight. It might be that the situation means you're about to go run a marathon and we got to increase carb intake. And that's debatable. Let's look at energy carbs. Good energy carbs. We're going to go through a list, and there's a big list on the website of energy carbs. Let's look at the sweet potato fries here. Here I've got sweet potato fries. A sweet potato is a wonderful energy carb. Now, we couldn't eat those by themselves, could we? If we want to lose weight. If I'm wanting to provoke an insulin response because I'm in a weight gain phase, I can eat them by themselves. No big deal. But I'm trying to lose body fat, so I wouldn't eat them by themselves. But sweet potatoes are a wonderful category 3 that when combined properly with a 1 and a 2 will not cause weight gain. Certainly you couldn't have as many as in that picture. Boom, look at this. Looks similar, doesn't it? Looks similar. This is jicama. Jicama is a great fibrous carbohydrate, a category 2. The sweet potato fries, category 3. The jicama, a category 2. Now, the sweet potatoes do not slow down the fat bus. Does not slow down the fat bus, the sweet potatoes. But the jicama slows down the fat bus. Tastes like a French fry. So, you know, if I'm trying to lose body fat really fast, don't give me sweet potato fries. Give me the jicama. I'll have jicama or butternut squash fries because they taste like sweet potato fries. My point being, even though the sweet potatoes are allowed, they're going to slow the fat loss down a little bit. Be better to replace them with jicama or butternut squash fries. But nevertheless, you've got energy carbs, fibrous carbs. Then you've got processed. Let's look at McDonald's French fries. Well, the French fries are potatoes, and white potatoes are allowed. They're not as good for you as a sweet potato, but understand that it still counts for a processed product because they're cooking bad fat into it. When you eat a regular French fry at a regular restaurant, even though it was white potatoes, you're eating nothing but processed goods, and you're just loading the fat bus up before it ever dispatches. You should never eat these if you're overweight. You should never eat these if you've got a goal of losing body fat. But they taste good. Well, so does a lot of stuff that kills you. But we're not here to die. We're here to live. So don't eat these things. If you're going to do it, only do it on your holidays. Let me give you some other examples of things that will cause a problem. All right, not Pam, but watch. So let's say that I cook my sweet potato fries in Pam cooking spray. That's a great thing to do. When you cook energy carbs, it's best to cook them in Pam. Now, you can cook them in MCT oil, but 0 calories is best when you're cooking your energy carbs. Boom, booyah. When you're cooking a fibrous carb like butternut squash fries or jicama fries, MCT oil. Every time, every time. Because that's going to spare your muscles, spare your metabolism, and give you energy like you just had carbs. Never cook, never, even if you're having a holiday, never, ever, ever cook anything, if you can help it, in lard, in regular fats, regular oils. Never do it. But especially, oh my gosh, never cook any type of carbohydrate in lard and fat. You're going to store every bit of it. I guarantee you right now, you're like, I just heard a little small voice say, that's why I felt bigger the last time I went out and ate. Yeah, because you stored all that fat. The carb is the bus. And if you cook the carb in the fat, carbs and bad fat, you're loading up the fat that's going to wind up on your bootay. So for God's sakes, when you go out, ask them to dry grill it. Ask them to use a cooking spray. They're not going to have MCT oil. At home, for goodness sake, cooking spray or MCT oil. Because if you're cooking in the bad fats, you're going to store it. And if you're cooking in the bad fats with carbs, you're going to store it times 2. Not a good idea. Let's look at the best carbs for energy and fat loss. Now notice I said for energy and fat loss. There are no best carbs for fat loss. I don't care what anybody tells you. The only time you should eat carbs is the situation whereby you need energy or you just craving some taste of potato, oatmeal, grits. You're craving it so bad you just gotta have it. You just gotta have it. If you crave it, I understand it, combine it right, portion control it right. But never think that eating carbs is going to benefit you from a fat loss standpoint. It's either you've been told a lie or you're believing a lie. It's one or the other. Carbs are energy. And when you're overweight, you don't need it. You're carrying around lots of extra energy as it is. Why would you, look, when the car tank is full of fuel, why would you pull over and try to put more fuel in it? It'll just spew out. If the nozzle didn't kick off, we don't have a nozzle that kicks off. If you're overweight, you got more jiggly, itchy. If your boobies are, if your boobies when you jump rope, if your boobies are jiggling and itching, you don't need no carbs. Women, if you jumping rope and you feel your butt jiggling and itching and it starts itching, because you're jumping under, you don't need no carbs. For goodness sakes. Get rid of the energy that you're carrying around. Get rid of the energy. You're not fat. You're just carrying around a lot of extra energy. Look, if your belly button is so deep, if your belly button's, I've been there so I can talk like this. If your belly button's so deep that it'll hold a 20-ounce bottle of water, then you don't need no carbs. Stop it. But Travis, if I gotta have them, what are the best ones for energy? My energy levels are lagging. What are the best ones for energy plus fat loss? I still want to lose fat, but I need my carbs. I need the energy. Here we go. Lima beans. Here's what you go to. You just gotta have it. You feel like you need the energy, and I can't convince you otherwise. Lima beans. Why? Because they're multi-nutrient. They have protein. They have fiber. They're going to stop the fat bus by themselves, even though I still want you to put a 1 and 2 with them. Peas. Sweet potatoes are great. Navy beans. Green peas. Apple cider vinegar. Now notice here, before y'all yell, I put pintos. Pintos are a superfood. They got a lot of carbs in them. I'm not just talking about category 3s here. Hope you're taking notes. I'm talking about any food that has carbohydrate in it. What are the best carbohydrates? The ones that I need to worry the least about, Brother Travis. Pintos, onion, quinoa, good rice substitute, black beans, red beans, butter beans, chickpeas, tomatoes, turnips, carrots, green peas. There might be a few more, but all of these, what you'll notice they have in common is they're full of all of the nutrients. So when you're craving a carb, have this list handy and ask yourself, hey, is there one of the items here that I like? I need a carb. And then combine your 1 and 2 with it, and you'll be good. These are, if you feel like your blood sugar's low, oh, your body's craving carbs because you're an addict, here's what you do. Here's what you do, and you'll still lose body fat. Praise the Lord. Good stuff. What are the best carbs for energy, exercise, insulin secretion, and muscle gain? Now, let's break this down for a minute. What are the best carbs to give me energy like the others? They'll give me energy, but I'm about to go work out, or I'm depleted after a workout. I want to provoke some insulin response, not too much, but some. I want to secrete some growth hormone so that I can gain some muscle. Because, Travis, I'm working out hard. And if I said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. If you're not doing CrossFit, you're not doing Body Beast, if you're just doing Zumba, I don't want to hear it. You need to be lifting. You need to be conditioning. It's got to be very, very intense for you to need these carbs, because otherwise you ain't going to lose anyway. Corn. Notice you'll see here the grains. Anytime you can stay away from grains, stay away from them. The animals that we slaughter and eat, those of you that are carnivores, what do we feed them to fatten them up? They're grain-fed. What do companies make the most profit margins off of? Grains. They're fattening us up, children. Fattening us up for the slaughter. Population control, baby. Corn. White potato is not a grain, but it's closely related to grains on the glycemic index. Wild rice. All of these are approved now, but a big caution light should come on. We're spending at least 2.5 lessons on carbs, because that's the difference between you reaching your goal and not. Grits, kiss my grits. Long grain brown rice. Bulgur, oatmeal, barley, any whole wheat or whole grain. Check this out. Category 2 breads. Notice jicama was a straight up category 2. Great fibrous carb. But here's the deal with category 2 breads. You still want to be careful with them. You still want to be careful with a category 2 bread because of the starch in them. Now, we wouldn't class them as a category 2 if they didn't break down more like a green bean than they did a white bread. But when you start the program, you got more than 30 pounds to lose, don't worry about category 2 breads. But when you get under that 30 pounds, I'm sorry to tell you, you got 30 pounds to go. You got to get rid of the category 2 breads too. You better start eating that burger and that hot dog weenie in a lettuce wrap. You hear me? Understand like it is. Truth will set you free, but first it'll tick you off. Category 2, some of you wonder why you hit a plateau. Well, when you started the program, had 100 pounds to lose, and you was eating 3 turkey sandwiches a day. That was 6 pieces of category 2 bread. But now you got down to that last 20 or 30, and you're like, what's happened? You got to get rid of the bread, even the good breads. Whole wheat, spelt. Some of these grains, some of these not. But if you want to lose body fat fast and efficiently, you got to avoid these except for very, very, very special circumstances. And then have them, but have them with, these are not holiday foods unless you overeat the portion. These are foods to proceed with caution with. Okay? Now, when we're talking about these carbohydrates, you've got to portion them. You need to portion your lean proteins. You need to portion your fats. You need to portion your category 2s. But you don't have to worry if you go a little over. It's not a big deal. But with your carbohydrates, oh my gosh, you've got to control your portion. For weight loss, never, ever, ever eat more than 4 tablespoons if you're trying to lose weight of any carbohydrate. Can't do it. I don't care that people are telling you different. I don't care that your trainer's telling you different. If your doctor's telling you different, I got to go along with your doctor, but we probably ain't going to lose weight. In a given meal, you should never, ever, ever go above a 1/4 cup of carbohydrate. And we should have threw in fruit here. Berries would be the one exception. Berries, apples, oranges, and grapefruit. If you want to throw them in the good carb category, berries, let me go back and show you what I'm talking about. If you want to take a note here. You could put berries, apples, oranges, and grapefruit in this category with all these really good ones. All other fruit, melon, kiwi, plums, grapes, bananas, peaches, pineapples should go in this category. You don't want them unless you just need the energy and trying to bulk up. Okay? Everybody got that? Portion control, weight loss, 1/4 cup. It's just a little bit. It's just a little. Look, watch this. Let me play with my little screen here. Whoops. It ain't going to let me play. Oh, there it is. Annotate. Watch me mess this up. It ain't going to let me play. Well, it's not going to let me play. Darn it. Daggone it. I just won't get to annotate. Go away. I wanted to point, look at my plate there since I can't get it to annotate. See the right side of the plate? That one little quadrant, that's 4 tablespoons. Travis, I like more carbs than that. Well, so do I. But thin feels better than anything tastes. If I want seconds, I can have seconds hours later, the next meal. Okay. I have 4 tablespoons of potato with my category 1 and my 2. I want more because it was good. That's no, remember I said it's situational. Just because it's good don't mean I get a second helping. 4 tablespoons is 12 teaspoons. That's a lot. I really feel like we overestimate the number of calories that we need. And we overestimate the point. If you eat, you've got to change this, people. You got to. If you eat a meal on this program or any program, if you eat your meal and you feel it, you can feel that you feel it you feel it in your gut sac, you feel it in your stomach. If you feel it, you eat too much, unless it's water. You've eaten too much. I know you're conditioned to feel that way. I know you're conditioned that way. You've conditioned yourself that way. It's too much. It's too much damn food. Oh. So many people tell me every day, every single day, y'all, that they're starving to death, and it makes me want to say wordy dirds all over the place. They're killing themselves. It is too much food. If you feel it, the whole world is conditioned to feel it, and they can't break away from that habit. You're dying, friend. You're dying. Your body is not built. Look, visualize your stomach. I want you to understand why it upsets me that I did it and that you're doing it. Look, people tell me every week that they're worried about the stretch marks. They're worried about the stretch marks. They're worried about their skin, and it drives me crazy. Let me tell you why that's happening. You're stretching it. The food's got to have some. Look, it's common country sense. It's common country boy sense. Country girl sense. If my stomach's a balloon and I fill it up with water, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until what? Pops. It's the volume in equal it having to stretch and expand. If you do that, if you overeat what your stomach can hold, it's going to stretch, and the skin around it is going to stretch. Do you understand that? Because I don't know any other way to do it than try to shake you up and get you shake you back into reality. Just because everybody else is doing it don't mean you need to do it. You're hurting yourself. I mean, if you feel the food inside of you in a meal, a given meal, you feel it, it's too much. Too much. But Travis, I ate half a plate and I felt my stomach stretch. It was too much for you, for your body type. You should eat a meal and feel satisfied, but light, clean. You should never feel, never. That's destructive. Travis, I'm worried about my skin stretching. I'm worried about my skin. I feel like my skin's stretching. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do about it? I can't help you because you're intent on stretching it. Stop. Eat just what you need and stop. It's not like you're not going to get seconds. Yesterday I was jiu-jitsu class, and I watched the instructor, the professor, chew out a grown man. The grown man, y'all get this, because some of y'all mad at me right now. I can feel it. I see 25 comments. I'm in trouble. Probably because I said a wordy dirt. I'll say it again, too. This makes me mad. Ain't like y'all ain't heard it on the Walking Dead show. But it does. It makes me mad. Wake up. Killing yourself. There's other things to live for than food. Jiu-jitsu professor said to this guy said, "Hey, this is not fair. I'm getting smashed and blah, blah, blah." And he said, "You're not grateful for what I'm teaching you." Looked at a grown man, told him that, because that could have been me. It ain't fair. I stink. Why this? Why that? He said, "Go sit against the wall." He said, "Number one, you're ungrateful. You have no honor. You're a whiner. You're a complainer. When you can correct that, I'll teach you something new about jiu-jitsu." I thought, I wish I could talk to people like that, but I don't have any plums. I'll let y'all figure out what plums are. I always say I don't want to hurt y'all's feelings, But what it really amounts to is I ain't got no plums, no pecans. Y'all know what I mean? Anybody know what I mean? Ain't got no plums. I don't want to hurt you. But if I had any plums, I'd tell 50% of our people every day, I mean, some of them that I love, go sit down. Go sit by the wall. I'm not teaching you anything else until you stop the whining. It ain't fair. I'm starving to death. Go sit by the wall. I'll teach you something when you correct that behavior. That's what I want to do. If you're trying to lose weight, let me give you 3 rules tonight. If you're trying to lose weight, you shouldn't be eating carbs. But if you just got to have carbs, you should eat a 1/4 cup of the good carbs combined with a 1 and 2. If you're somewhere where they've got some watermelon and you just got to have it, you should really proceed with caution. You probably should just chew on it and then spit it out, beloved. Just spit it out. I've got a stepdaughter, Carmen, that told this story many times. We went to Red Lobster. She hit her goals. She looks great. But she said, she asked, can I have that Cheddar Bay biscuit? We said, no, that's processed. That's even bad. That's a holiday, just a lick of it. She said, is a lick of it really a holiday? I said, well, no, but after the lick goes the bite. After the bite goes the whole thing of biscuits. She said, no, I can just chew on it. I can taste it and then spit it out. I laughed. I said, okay. Well, by George, she did. She sit there and eat them biscuits like a horse. Not that she looks like a horse. God help. She might watch this. But like, you ever seen a horse, like a horse through a picket fence? Not a picket fence, but fences. She was eating and she chew on it. Spit it out. God bless her little heart. She lost that weight too. If you're going to eat those good carbs I talked about last, you should never eat white bread, white rice, white pasta. But if you're going to eat them carbs I talked about last, dang, beep, 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 beep. I'm trying to put emphasis on this tonight. If you're going to eat those, probably should spit them out if you're trying to lose weight after you chew on them a little bit. You'll be all right with you. I'm getting in trouble. I'm getting in trouble on my phone over here, boy. I get some of y'all them messaging me. Oh, come on. Lighten up. Lighten up. Goodness gracious, people are so judgmental. Good gracious. Lighten up. Go somewhere else. All right. Cannot win. I guess we just let people die. Don't ever let a wordy dirge slip. All right, so weight loss, 1/4 cup of carbs. That should be it. 4 tablespoons or 12 teaspoons with a 1 and a 2. If you're needing energy or you're bodybuilding or you're in maintenance, you can go to a 1/2 cup of carbs with a 1 or 2. You double your portion. If a 1/2 cup of carbs isn't enough for you, you got problems. 1/2 cup of carbs is plenty. By the way, if you're in weight loss mode, you should hold it to 1 to 2 servings a day max. You don't want to have 3 meals a day with carbs. I'm not talking about fibrous carbs. Fibrous carbs are A-okay. Your broccoli, asparagus, bran crisp bread, squash, all of those are fine, right? Green leafy veggies, those are all fine. I'm talking about those carbs we've talked about tonight. If you're trying to bodybuild, you're trying to provoke an insulin response, but in the right way, not too much, 1/2 cup carbs. Those of you really struggling to stop the weight loss, believe it or not, we have people that they can't stop losing now. Their metabolism is clicking on all cylinders. Then 1/2 cup of carbs is fine. What about experiencing low blood sugar? a quarter cup of carbs by themselves. For those of you that experience low blood sugar, remember the good carbs I talked about, the sweet potatoes, the lima beans, the peas. If you're experiencing really low blood sugar, those are great, fantastic carbohydrate to elevate your blood sugar slowly, but not take you out of fat burning if you have to eat them by themselves to get your blood sugar up. By the way, one that I didn't put up there, a great one for diabetics or pre-diabetics would be Ezekiel bread. Okay, now let me come out of here and let's talk carbs. All right. Questions, comments? Butler, I must have struck a nerve. I'd rather see someone get worked up. Thank you. I do care about you. I probably shouldn't have said the wordy dirt. It just popped out. But can I tell you this? I talked to I'm there. Travis's, I remember how I was. And what hurts me is everybody let me stay where I was. Everybody let me, no one would tell me like it was until if you've ever heard my testimony, until my father told me to get out of his house. He was sick and tired of hearing about it. Long story, won't get into it. But everybody just told me what I wanted to hear and patronized me. I think we need somebody to shake us. I mean, we act like, well, we just got a little weight problem. You're dying. You're freaking dying. You're killing yourself. You're committing slow suicide with food. What am I supposed to do when I hear all day, every day? I'm starting next year. All day, every day, I can't afford it. All day, every day, I don't have time. All day, every day, I can't understand it. All day, every day, it's not fair. All day, every day, my relationships suck. My goodness, there ain't nothing left to do but say a wordy dirt. Then we both have to repent. You have to repent for being a food addict, and I have to repent for saying wordy dirts. But I'm human. It drives me crazy. Because it's out of all the problems that you guys can have, that I could have had, the easiest one to fix is this one. I was reading an article about Michael J. Fox today. He's got Parkinson's. He can't fix it. The only thing that Michael J. Fox can do is try his best to suffer through the pain, pain management 101, suffer through the embarrassment, and prolong the quality of his life and keep a good attitude. We all have the best problem we could have, one that we can change overnight. And we've got every reason to do it. Every reason to do it. Families, our own self-worth, every reason to do it. If you don't do it, you deserve it. You just deserve it. Sorry. You just deserve it. I deserve to be where I was at because I wouldn't get up off my tail and fix it. It's so fixable, and it's fixable fast. It is. You can fix this if you've got 100 pounds and it gets better every day. It's not like you got to wait 6 months before you see the fruit of your labor. It gets better every day. You can fix it in 100 pounds or less, 6 months. More than 100 pounds a year. More than 200 pounds, less than 2 years. But it gets better every day. It's not like if you stick to this for 2 years, you might lose all the weight. I mean, it's not like you're going to be 200 pounds overweight for the 2 years you're trying to do this, and you got to wait till then to experience any benefits of it. It gets better every day. So when you say it's not fair, it makes me it makes my head want to do the Exorcist girl thing. And more so because I've been there and I had the same excuses and they only made sense to me. And when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to old Travis that squandered 30 years. Don't squander any more time. Just fix the doggone thing. I went down there today. It's been cool here. Some of y'all don't want to hear any of this, but today, it's been a few days I ain't been able, and I said, you know what? I'm going to get my backpack. I'm going to put my notes in my backpack, and I'm going to go down to the beach 2 hours. I'm going to go down in 2 hours, and I'm going to take notes. And I wrote note after note. And this may sound silly to y'all. It may sound vain, but I don't care. I went down there, took my shirt off, leaned back, and I thought I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have done this 17 years ago. Wasn't comfortable in my own skin. It's worth it. Let me see what y'all are saying. All right, let me go back. I'm going to miss some things. Y'all tell me what I missed. One of the things for me, I don't feel full enough most of the time. If I eat meat, category 2, I feel much more full. Protein and fiber will make you feel full. But here's candy. I think this is something to work on. I do think if you're not starving yourself, don't want you starving yourself. But that is that's conditioning. Think about what you just said. I don't feel full. You should never, ever feel full. Now, you shouldn't be shaking because you hadn't eaten. If I get to the point where I feel just a little jitter because I haven't eaten, I'll wait 1 more hour. That's fat burning, and I'll eat. But be careful. We may not be defining it the same, so I don't want you starving yourself. But when you say I don't feel full, you should never feel full. Ideally, sometimes we will. We all do. I do from time to time. But we should never feel full. Never, ever. No, never full. Satisfied. You've got to get addicted to that feeling of not being full, just like you're addicted to that full feeling. I won't put them in the corner. I don't know. You know, if you've got my, I don't want to, y'all. I seen it's 3. It's 3 things there. I don't want y'all to think that it's 3 different people. I thought it's one person. And I don't know if you're still here, but I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean it slipped. It's a wordy dirt. I don't mean to offend. I'm a human. I said a wordy dirt. I didn't know that your kid was around. Oh, I lost another one. I'll apologize shortly if you're still watching. I don't know if you're still here. But my gosh, guarantee you your kid's watching The Walking Dead. Never mind. If you got my cell phone, you're a friend. Why would you be so harsh? All right. I like what Donnell says. I'm too busy learning what to eat. Hoo-ah! Why cook with Pam with energy carbs? Yeah, Nancy, great question. You can cook with MCT oil. It's never going to hurt you. But for optimization, you've probably already cooked your meat or your category 2 in MCT. So I'm trying not to overkill. And MCT is an energy source. It's a fat that's an energy source without any blood sugar elevation. But it operates and breaks down like a carb. So you don't want to overkill it with the MCT either. So it wouldn't matter if you cooked your carbs with MCT. But for optimization, I wouldn't. MCT can use it practically. You can cook anything with it. But think about this. If I had a 1, 2, and 3, category 1's a protein. It's going to be maybe 100, 150 calories. Cooked in MCT oil, you're up to 250. You cook your fibrous carbs in it. 50 calories for your fibrous carb plus another 100 calories. Now you're up to 150, 250, you're up to 400 calories. So if you're adding carbs and cooking the carbs in another tablespoon of MCT oil for your serving, a little bit of overkill, it can set you back. So I'm just talking about optimization. Don't want you to freak out about that. But what I like to do is cook lean proteins with MCT. That'd be a good lesson. Probably need to do that as a whole lesson, because I'll cook lean proteins in MCT and fibrous carbs in MCT. Everything else straight up bouillon, cook and spray. There's just no need in adding more fat to fat, like protein plus fats, or more fat to carbohydrate. It's best to cook those good fats in the lean proteins and fibrous carbs. Amen, Candy. Is gluten-free the same as category 2 or 3? Gluten-free is tough, like tapioca starch and things like that, that they really spike blood sugar. You have to really be careful with gluten-free products. We do have a lot of approved gluten-free products like Udi's Millet Chia. But you have to be careful with gluten-free products. They can really provoke blood sugar. Just because it's gluten-free doesn't mean it's great for weight loss. But here, I would just say, do the search in the database for appropriate gluten-free products, or ask me or ask a team member for a good conversion to a gluten-free product. Gluten is a protein found in carbs, certain like grains, whole wheats. It's a protein that the body has a hard time digesting that can cause many people problems, ultimately cause celiac disease. So some people just are very sensitive to gluten. I found in the last year that I'm sensitive to gluten. So I have to be careful about the amounts of it that I consume. But you can find gluten in anything, category 2s, category 3s. It's in so many things. So it's not necessarily, there's slow digesting products that are gluten-free, fast digesting products that are gluten-free. Just have to be careful. MCT oil as a salad dressing is perfection. No problem there. I love MCT oil and apple cider vinegar mixed together as a good, with Italian seasoning, as a good Italian dressing. I love the MCT oil Catalina dressings, the ranch, all the different dressings we have. Always great on your salad, even when combining with a 3. What category 3 would I put in a salad? I think Sasha was asking somebody that question. Chickpeas or black beans. So if I'm having a different variety of lettuces and chickpeas on my salad, an MCT oil-based salad dressing, perfection with those chickpeas. Remember, chickpeas was in the better list of carbs. Chickpeas are great for you as long as you combine that 1 and 2 with them. So if I had a grilled chicken salad with a 1/4 cup of chickpeas and MCT oil-based dressing, perfection. Hope y'all are still tuned in. That's perfection. Y'all with me? Perfection. Look at me, I went over an hour. I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, Christy, be careful with the bread. Be really careful with the bread when you get close to go. That's when you should turn to lettuce wraps or 1 slice of bread. Can't tell you how many times I've eaten a sandwich with 1 slice of category 2 bread on bottom, my lean protein like turkey, tomato, fat-free cheese, and a piece of lettuce over it for the top piece of bread. Anywhere you can cut carbs, the better. But the program, it's not Atkins. It's not a low. It's important for you to know how to eat carbs because you're going to crave them. Thank you, Lynn. I love you, Miss Lynn. Yes. I mean, really, think about, we all end up going, we start overestimating the amount of food we can have. It's our nature. Okay? You want to take your hands, put your hands together. We have this rule because it works. You've got your combination. You put your hands over it, directly over it, not up here. Apple cider vinegar. Not over it. Whoop. Not over it. Not over your eyes. Put it directly over the portion. Combined right over the portion. It's not piled up. Practically speaking, don't get silly about it. No thicker than the thickest part of your hand. A little higher, a little lower. It's okay. If it's a little higher, then make sure your hands cover it easily. If it's flattened out, make sure your hands barely cover it. It's just practical common sense. Use a 6 to 8 inch plate. And then lay your hand down and make sure that what's on the 6 to 8 inch plate isn't any higher than that. And then just say, Trash, that's silly. No, it's not. I do it all the time. Then tell yourself, I can have seconds later. This will be good later. Let me tell you, if you're struggling with portions, go just for a week or two. Just for a week or two. Go buy some frozen meals from a company called Metabolic Meals. Don't buy any of their pastries. Don't buy any of their pastries. Don't buy any of their meals that are over 400 calories. Metabolic Meals. Don't buy any of their meals that are over 400 calories. And you'll get the right portions in the mail. And you do that for a week and then reset your mind. This is the right portion. I shouldn't be eating more portion than this. And when you get done eating one of those meals, you don't even feel it. You just feel better. That's a good way to put it. You don't even feel it. You just feel better. You're not full. You just feel better. That's right portions. If you're not disciplined enough to put it on your own 6 to 8 inch plate, then do something like that. Or a Health-Wise meal. Take the Health-Wise vacuum sealed meals that Sasha has there in the retail center and Jason and Tyler have. Do those for a day just so you can understand what right portions are and how you're supposed to feel after you eat. It is so important, y'all. Some of you are eating the right combinations, but your portions are too big. MCT oil, Carol, that stands for medium chain triglyceride oil. It's a fat that you cook with that has no propensity to be stored as a fat. Okay? No propensity to be stored as a fat at all. So you want to cook in or with MCT oil. Second best would be coconut oil. Third best, ghee butter. Fourth best, hemp oil. Love you too, Brother Paul. Glad you're with us. If people work my job, surgical RN, and could really see the damage, breaks my heart too. The damage the disease obesity leads to, they would be scared to death and not care about a wordy dirt. People are killing themselves. Not only that, death is not the worst thing that can happen to a person. Amen. When the spirit dies, that's the worst thing. Mine almost did. And come hell or high water, I'm going to try to stop others from destroying their spirits. Lynn says, I use MCT oil and Bragg's liquid amino. By the way, y'all, if you don't know what Lynn's talking about, Bragg's liquid amino tastes just like soy sauce, but you're getting the gut be gone, butt be gone amino acids. Terrific, Lynn. I love that stuff. Thanks for bringing that up. That's a kind of a forgotten product around here. It's a good one. I use it as a soy sauce. Thank you, Scott. I guarantee you everybody said a wordy dirt or two. Candy asked about laxative. Hemp hearts, I would go to a hemp heart protocol, do the hemp heart challenge for 2 or 3 days. That will help. Salad with hemp hearts on it. Do one of the hemp challenges, any of them, whether it be the salad or the hemp bars. That'll help. Or do 1s and 2s with hemp flakes on top. That'll help you go to the bathroom. Drink your water. That'll help go. One of the things that you'll see with a lot of people in the early stages of any lifestyle change is some perceived constipation. I say perceived because clinically, constipation is only not having a bowel movement 3 days at a time. So if it's like 3 days at a time, probably would go check with my physician, or I would do one of the hemp challenges, and that will help. But if it's a day or two, give your body time to adjust. I go about twice a day now, but it's because of the consistency of my eating. And some days it's not twice a day, TMI. I love it. Is that Donnell Deering? I use a child's Winnie the Pooh plate. That's the way to do it. When people tell you you're not eating enough, you should probably eat less. Because you hear that everywhere you go. You're not eating enough. Where's that advice get in the world? I don't think we have a problem with not eating enough. Look around. Sometimes, I know there's some other country folks here too. There's got to be some country people here. Country people got common sense. I don't think that not eating enough is the problem. Y'all know what I'm saying? Anybody know what I'm saying? You may not be able to solve the problem, but I don't think the problem is that people ain't eating enough. Daggone. You could put it in coffee. I don't recommend it. I know that bulletproof coffee's become very, very popular. I'm not a fan. I'd rather see you do like a high-protein hot chocolate and add MCT oil. I just do not see adding fat to a non-nutrient beverage. Doesn't make sense to me. But that's me. Creamer in coffee. I like non-fat milk, but has a lot of sugar in it. Don't like non-dairy creamer. Probably Kroger Carb Master Milk or Fat-Free Fairlife. Oh, Sasha caught you. Walden Farms Fat-Free Creamers. Thank you, Lynn. Lynn is on it tonight. They have some good creamers. I tell you what else is good. It's the old ready to drink. Oh yeah, vanilla, French vanilla. Those make good creamers. Scott says, I've lost 15 pounds total and I've messed up a bunch. I can see that I'm still eating too much. 15 pounds is great. Congratulations, my friend. That's good. And that's what it's all about. I don't know why we think learning a new lifestyle would be any different than, my fascination for the past year has been jiu-jitsu. And I'm getting better. But every class I go, oh gosh, how did I miss that? How did I miss that aspect of it? And I learn something new every time I go, making me better. If you're doing it as a lifestyle, what's cool is you've lost 15 and you're still learning new stuff. I mean, that's awesome. Amen, Tamara. Doing the right thing more than the wrong thing. Cool. Scott's a second degree. I'll tell you, after a year of jiu-jitsu, I admire anybody that's applied themselves. Second degree black in Taekwondo. Amazing, amazing feat. Congratulations. You have my ultimate respect and admiration, my friend. I aspire to get my blue belt in jiu-jitsu. How much sugar is too much in peanut butter? That's a tough one. We usually go by 10, 11 grams, something like that. If you're doing the flavored peanut butters, just stay away from Nutella. That's the main one to stay away from. No hydrogenated oil. Thank you, Butler. Good night, KFTT. Any other questions before we go? Went over another 30 minutes. Darn it. Didn't Britney Spears sing a song, Oops, I Did It Again? Oops, I did it again. So sorry. Thank y'all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. God bless every one of you living souls. Any other questions, comments? Got an anonymous person asked a question here. I've been using store brand peanut butter. I'm afraid it's stalling. Is that possible? If your peanut butter's tough, because I've got some peanut butter in there, and it says per serving it's 200 calories, but in the whole jar there's over 3,000 calories. So if you can't control your portions to 2 tablespoons, it can be stalling you out. If you're eating peanut butter, the right portion with a category 2, probably not stalling you out. Bless the name of the Lord at all times, and even after you say a word you dare by accident. Love you, Lynn, and thank you so much for all you do. You caused my wife to have some tears and me to have some tears, and I appreciate you, Miss Lynn. Bless the name of the Lord. That's all I can say. That's right. I've seen those T-shirts. I do cuss a little. Sorry. Just when I'm fired up. And it's because it's not, my father once told me that it's not a sin. I thought he was going to say something good. He said, it's not a sin. Some of y'all disagree with my daddy. Here's what my daddy said. Daddy said, not a sin, it's just a word. He said, it just shows that you have a very limited and juvenile vocabulary, son. Dad was right. It shows a lack of intelligence on my part. I didn't have a good replacement at the time for the word. Just a word, though. Does show a lack of intelligence. Anybody else? Well, I just hope you'll get as fired up about your life as I am fired up about your life. How about that? I'm glad, Tamara. See, such is with me. Most people would never know anything that I've done bad if I didn't tell on myself, but I have the guilty conscience, the perpetual guilty conscience. I'm working on it. Thank you, Laura. I like it too. I like it too. Thank you, Nancy. Anybody else? Amen. I like it that we ain't afraid to say Jesus too. Amen. We're all in this together. Thank you all. Look forward to the next lesson next Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Lord willing, he tarries, is coming. Don't come back through the clouds of glory. Unite us with him in the air. We'll have another class. Good night, everybody. God bless y'all, and I love you.